appears to be a major milestone in the Nigerian economy, especially the oil economy of our economy. So the President Muhammadu Buhari flagged off the Kolmani Integrated Development Project in the northeastern region of the country, the first of its kind in the northeastern zone. It is an oil exploration at the Kolmani River, located between Gombe and Bauchi State. The NNPC had in 2019 announced the discovery of crude oil in the Kolmani River region at the border community between Bauchi and Gombe State. Where discovering oil perhaps may not be the catch here, but the benefits of the discovery and how Nigeria could use this event of the discovery to its own benefit and learning from past experiences perhaps should be our focus. And tonight, let's get straight to it. And perhaps we'll be looking at all the angles to all of these issues and making sense of the benefit of that event today. I'm being joined on the program, perhaps one of the beneficiaries, direct beneficiaries of these, is the governor of Gombe State, Governor Unuwayaya, who joins us live from Gombe. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Shagun. It's my pleasure having you.
Thank you so much. I also have with me one of the leaders of the National Assembly, Senator Ali Ndume. Interesting thing that there was a discovery in his own part of the country, but that has not yielded much result. But Senator, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Your Excellency, let me come to you quickly. It's since 2019 that story came up when the NNPC said they discovered crude oil in some quantity, perhaps something that could be of commercial value. Give us an understanding. Now, it does look to me that your state perhaps will be joining the League of Oil-Producing States in Nigeria. What does this mean for Gombe, Bauchi State?
Well, thank you very much, Shagun, for that question. And naturally, you know, Nigerian economy is virtually an oil-dependent economy. And discovering oil at this point in time, when there are challenges virtually throughout the world, but entirely, especially for the Nigerian case, in the Niger Delta, where predominantly oil is being produced, there is a natural advantage. There are some benefits that are inherent in discovering or exploiting oil from the region that has been found now. And there are a lot of benefits that will accrue to it, having in mind that what we launched today is an integrated development, meaning oil will be exploited. There will be, after it has been drilled out, there will be a refinery. And from the refinery, there will be a fertilizer plant, there will be a power plant, and there are subsequent activities that will hang around the value chain that will enhance the economic activities and that will enhance the livelihoods of the people. There is obviously going to be a huge of advantages that are going to accrue not only to the people of Gombe, Bauchi State, not even the northeast or the wider north, but the entire country, because the quantity is commercially viable and the activities are going to be for the whole of the people, not only one people.
So, I mean, if the fact that I'm getting is correct, I'd like you to give us some insight into that. About 1 billion barrels of crude and 500 billion cubic feet of gas, that would be a huge revenue. Is that correct?
Yes, indeed. And that is just for the beginning. That's what they have established in the 4 wells that have been drilled so far. And there are a lot of opportunities that abound in other fields that are along either in the Benue Trough or in the other basins within the Benue Trough and the Chad Basin, which are not yet exploited yet.
Now, so discovery of oil, Senator Ndume also will understand that it's perhaps not all good news, because when you start, environmental issues will come up. Commercial challenges will set in. There are a lot of challenges that come with this kind of trade. The question is that, are you prepared as a government, first and foremost, for the benefit? How soon do you think, for example, that the exploration will take full effect?
Is it me? Can I hear you?
Yeah. So the question that I'm asking you, I'm trying to help put you in a position where maybe a lot of Nigerians can also think in the line of what the government is thinking or what the government is not thinking about. First and foremost, how soon will be the commercial exploration be start in that region? How soon?
Definitely, that should be as soon as possible, because since there is an involvement of a private company, with the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act and the subsequent developments, especially by the NNPC itself going private, it means activities will be definitely be driven by the economic forces around the business environment. And no investor will come and tie his capital where there will be no activity enough for him to get enough returns from his own investment.
So I was asking, So I was asking also earlier, Governor.
That activity will commence as soon as possible.
So I was asking, is your government prepared for what could be the challenges that comes with this kind of trade?
Obviously, I say yes to that because we've learned our lessons. You see, with the developments and what has been happening around the Niger Delta and other oil-producing areas of the world, naturally, no government will allow things to, continue to follow the same track. And for us here in Gombe, we've been talking, and even at the exploratory stage, the communities have been engaged in all the activities. And even now, there is nothing opaque. We are transparent, and I believe the company and the NNPC itself are so transparent that these days no activity will be taken off the shelf. So we shall make sure that from the environment to the impact on the society and community, there is nothing that is left behind that can cause. There will be no cause for alarm.
Let me ask you a straight question, Governor. Give us in tangible form, what exactly is your readiness in terms of tell Nigerians tonight and the people of Gombe, wherever they may be listening or watching us tonight, what would you say is your plan? Should these get on the ground and they hit the ground running? What would you say you are putting on the ground as a state government to be prepared for this?
As a state government, we are ready to partner with any investor. There is a window for us to discuss. We are ready to engage our local business community so that along the value chain, anybody that is interested can identify where to fix and where to invest so that eventually the economic activity will be kickstarted and it will be enjoyed by the people of the state. And with the issue, or with regards to the issue of environment, our Ministry of Environment is working hand in hand with the Federal Ministry of Environment and the Nigerian Petroleum NNPC so that we'll avoid all the mistakes and pitfalls that have been the big challenge of oil exploration and exploitation in the southern part of the country. And going forward, Gombe State itself has identified all the avenues. We've been working with some consultants that have been guiding us as to what we need to do, especially by providing the required skill, workmanship, and labor that is needed in order to be useful and be exploited in the oil operations. So I believe there will be opening for our people, especially in terms of jobs and in terms of business opportunities. And the people are keen and eager for us to key in and work with whoever is interested and whoever is invested in that respect.
Please stay with me, Governor let me bring in Senator Aline Dume into it, because what we're trying to learn tonight is how we can do things better. If the Niger Delta region of the country seeing oil, what advantage or what are the disadvantages that we can learn from? Senator, what came to your mind when you heard about this flag off today?
Well, this is a very good development for the country in general, and for the Northeast in particular, and especially Gombe State that is hosting the exploration of the discovered well. So it's a very positive development, and His Excellency has already reeled out the advantages of having that, the benefits that will accrue to the people, and the value chain that will start with the production, and the boost to the economy, and even politically it will have real effect on the North in general and the country as a whole. So what is remaining now and what has been has nothing to do with this particular one, but the oil industry altogether since the beginning and where we are today, and the effect of the oil on the economy, especially these days where there are disruptions, stealing of crude oil, vandalization, and then issue of environmental contamination and all that. Now, these are the issues that the government should take very seriously. And the resources accruing in terms of money should get or trickle down to Nigerians, which is not what is happening these days. My concern and my hope is that we'll look at this petroleum industry again. What we did in the 9th National Assembly is okay, but it's not good enough yet. I'm envisaging where the resources derived from oil will trickle down to the poor. I'm thinking of saying, why not bring back PTF so that the resources that is accruing from petroleum is the effect of it should be seen everywhere in the country. But as it is now, the negative effect of the exploration everywhere in the country is becoming negative. Like now, we have a commitment and we don't meet up with our production quota even because of disruptions in the Niger Delta. And why is that restiveness coming from? It's because of the environmental degradation, and also the common man that is within that environment cannot see the benefit. But this time around, as the governor has said, they have learned from the lessons in the Niger Delta, and I'm very sure it will be different, and I want to say it again, different in the north.
There was an attempt within the Borno axis for oil exploration, but I mean, some of those who were going for that were at some point abducted by the insurgent. Do you have an idea of what is going on in that regard at the moment?
Well, the exploration in the Chad Basin is very promising ever since. The issues the challenges we had now have been overcome because the technology that was used that time, there's wide improvement on it. So discovering oil is now, with the improvement in ICT and technology, and the prospect is there. But the challenge that we have is the security. So it disrupts the operations there. But the benefit of what is happening along the northeast axis, the Gongola Basin and then the Lake Chad Basin, gives us real hope that the future is very bright in that area. And it will have a ripple effect on other industries. Just like the governor said, for example, that we are expecting that after setting up, we are looking at having a fertilizer plant like the one in Port Harcourt, and then the farming there. What the challenges our farmers are facing now typically is lack of fertilizer. We are foreseeing a situation where we'll have a fertilizer plant, make fertilizer quite available to the people. The governor, for example, and I'm praying that after in these 4 years, we'll get to a level whereby such dream will be realized.
And I'd like to ask you, if you look at what is happening, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and these are a few countries who are oil producing like Nigeria, but in terms of development, we are not in the same league at all in terms of development, infrastructure, and in terms of livelihood. Just recently, it was established that over 130 million Nigerians are poor. About over 70% or about 70% of that are people in the northern region of the country. Now, the question is, what have we made you, I mean, how much of use of the oil money do we see? And what can we do to make sure that some of these monies that have gone into private pockets, because the allegations are that even the oil theft that we see in the Niger Delta, there are a lot of people who are in high places that are behind it. What do we do? Well, so that what we are saying now is not going to be a repeating scenario in the Gombe and Bauchi's axis.
Well, the major problem associated with what you have mentioned now is corruption.
How do we fight it?
And no, that is, there must be a will from the government in charge and also the citizens. What we are experiencing in Nigeria is unbelievable. The reason why it is not fair for you to compare Qatar and Nigeria is that, I don't know, Nigerians, especially those that are exposed to the resources, number one, even if they are in government, they privatize and personalize government. Here I have said it several times, that, that our democracy have been taken over by kleptocrats and plutocrats. There is almost no democracy existing or is in coma. As long as people are not held accountable. I tried on my own several times to make the Unexplained Wealth Act see the limelight. I encouraged the government to sign into law the Unexplained Wealth, so that that instrument is the only instrument that will enable the government.
If you have money that you cannot explain,
then they take it back to government.
Let me bring Governor Unuwaya back into the conversation. Now, Your Excellency, give us an understanding of, the timing. Some people have questioned the timing. Now, the reason why this is happening at the time is perhaps that the APC is jittery that it might lose Gombe State or not have a stronghold in the northeastern region of the country, and that's why you're flagging it off at this time. It could have been earlier or it could have been later. Could this help the political standing of your party in Gombe State?
Well, whether you like it or not, this is a feat that has been achieved by Mr. President and his leadership, and with the contribution of the party, our APC, because for so long a time, there has been this issue of trying to explore and possibly exploit the petroleum deposit or resources that are abound in the north. But that has not been achieved. But purely, this is not political. If you are thinking that it's NNPC or government, the federal government, or the state government that's trying to now manipulate and take benefits because of politics, why should a private investor that is bringing in so much? This project, by the estimation of the NNPC, is going to cost nearly $3 billion. And no businessman that is in his senses will take his $3 billion and just throw it to the pit. So I believe it is time, and this is God's time, and God's time is the only time. Nobody could say that it's because of politics, because several governments have passed, it did not happen. We can take the political benefit of it, no doubt. But this is not politics, this is business. And I believe with the Petroleum Industry Act that is in operation, that gave leverage for private investment to flourish in the country, there will be more of this eventually in the other basins that are bound, either in the north or even in the south. Because even in the south, there are some continental shelves that need to be exploited for us to have more deposits and for us to increase our security in terms of energy and economy. So there is no politics. This is purely business.
So Senator is saying there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
If you play politics with
yes. Because what is the opposing party and the major opposition party is PDP, isn't it?
Yes.
Were they not there 16 years before we came on board? What did they do about it? So I am not like the governor who is, a very... what is wrong with playing politics with that? Is it not during APC government that the real exploration started and it was discovered? So do we stop now because another party is trying to take over? In fact, for Your Excellency, if you are listening to me, there is no crime in going out there to even use this exploration as a campaign. Because it was during our time.
Would you be using it for campaign, Governor Inua?
He will not.
Definitely, why not? I take the political credit of the activities that is happening now, because it happens under the leadership of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, and myself and Buhari are all APC. Distinguished Senator is APC. Why shouldn't we take the political credit?
So let me, Governor, because some of the thought of your opposition is the fact that perhaps your party is not as popular as it used to be, and there is a threat that your party may be facing in the 2023 election, considering the major opposition party and, in fact, the Labour Party and the NNPP. I mean, do you have that fear? You are a sitting governor that is seeking re-election. Do you have that fear at some point at night that it might be difficult for your party at the polls next year?
Not at all.
Not with PDP.
Not at all, because I have the belief that the APC has what it takes for it to win back and get back power and come back in 2023 from head to toe. We'll definitely not get less than what we have gotten in the 2019 elections, for sure. I put it on record. That's for me.
Senator, you're saying that things may not, I mean, realistically, the temperature, the political temperature in the country, you think is not going to be different from what we've seen in the past?
Well, it's not going to
President Buhari is not on the ballot this time around.
Yeah, but he's there.
But he's not on the ballot.
Yeah, I know.
For the first time in the last 4 election cycles.
Yeah, but APC is on the ballot. We're not voting Buhari. We're voting APC. Nigerians will vote for that.
But is your party that popular this time around?
Especially in the Northeast.
Is your party popular?
Very popular.
That is the same region from where Atiku Abubakar is from.
You see, I don't know what you think about it, but the truth of the matter, you are Nigerian. PDP has ruled for 16 years. APC ruled for 8 years. This topic that we're talking about tonight has to do with exclusively APC. Because that exploration in Gombe, and I have been to Gombe, I've seen what the governor has done in Gombe. And people of Gombe feel it. But this is politics. You can't say your opponent is not important or is nothing. Anybody. There are so many political candidates that will appear on the ballot paper. But even you, maybe you don't know them. But they are going around campaigning. And Nigeria of today, because of the level of poverty which you have seen recently, if you go to, if Inua comes out for his election, you will see some people. And if Peter Obi goes for that same campaign, you will see some people. And maybe those people that attended his own. So they are going there to see or to hear, and that's it. But it doesn't change what they are going to.
You think that your party can get the same amount of votes? You didn't get the same amount of votes in 2019 compared to 2015.
Yeah.
It dropped. So I'm saying that trend.
We have votes in stock.
It wasn't a positive trend.
Wait now. We have votes in stock. And PDP doesn't have votes in stock.
What do you mean by that?
We have people, like my state, Borno State, I'm saying it here, without any fear of contradiction. Ever since PDP does not make it. The only time PDP showed up a bit was when I was in PDP and Goni was on the ballot paper, our former governor who performed credibly. But now, if you have, to me, if you have those states in the Northeast particularly that are guaranteed for APC, Gombe is one of them, Borno, Yobe.
What about Adamawa?
Well, Adamawa, as I said, they have issues with the candidature, and we must give it to him. Waziri, the presidential candidate, is from Adamawa State. I say it as it is. In Bauchi, it is there. They are dragging.
All right.
The governor, sitting governor, is PDP, but we have attached a general to him. We don't know how it's going to end. And in Taraba State, is still there. We have a candidate, and so when you look at the political scenario, all of it, and add up all to it, had it been is another party, and unfortunately the new parties is neither here nor there. But for PDP, any person that is 18 years old must have known what PDP is.
All right, Senator, let me allow a parting shot from Governor Unuwayaya tonight. The report that was released by the NBS, Governor, that report is a sad story of the situation of this country. And you are one of the governors of the North. It needs a lot of introspection. Anybody from that region of the country, for those of us who are from the northern region of the country, it is a sad scenario, sad story of the situation of the people living in that region of the country. What are you doing specifically to ensure that the number of poor people are reduced in practical terms? Just briefly before we close.
Well, there are peculiarities with regards to the states on that matter. And it's really very sad, very disheartening, and very unfortunate that that large number of people, especially in the north, are classified as poor. But if you look at the situation, at the general scenario carefully, you can find that there are still some ways and means by which we can improve. Our youth that constitute the bulk of the population need to have some engagement in terms of employment, and we need to open up the economy so that there will be availability of jobs and there will be opportunities in either business or in agriculture, which is predominantly the profession that we are engaged in, and animal husbandry. So if you join these three, especially with the recent development, with what we did today, commissioning, the integrated petroleum development in Kolmani, and what Gombe State is doing particularly, we've set up an industrial park of about 1,000 hectares, which is nearly completed. By December end, 369 hectares of land would have been completed with all the facilities and infrastructure that is open for investors to come in and partake. So once there is economic activity, people will definitely have engagements. And once we are able to provide inputs and support our locals in the agricultural profession, which is what we all depend on, there will be improvement on the economy. And I believe, since it is a point of concern for all the states, this time around, we are going to have a different approach, and it will yield results.
Governor Onuwaya, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight, and I hope that the people of Gombe and Bauchi will be beneficiaries and real beneficiaries of today's event. Senator Alindume, it's a pleasure having you around. Thank you so much indeed for coming.
Thank you, Sean. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.